Happy Friday, everyone. The sun is out, positive vibes only, please. Welcome to The Lazy Redhead, and if you don't know, I am The Lazy Redhead. This week is a catch-up week, and the reason is because over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be very, very hairy. In that, there is a lot to do, like so much to do. I don't even know where to begin. Friday the 12th of May is the weekend of our 1 year upload, which means that is also the weekend the website is going to be launched. And I'm really nervous about it all. There's just like, I've got boxes everywhere, boxes all over the house of like stuff, like printer, which cost me a bomb and it's so techie. There's just a lot, guys. This week I had said on my community tab that this video is going to be a catch-up week because there is so many shout-outs from people and demonstrations that I had been promising subscribers for so long. I want you all to know I've been making promises that I haven't kept, and that's something I hate doing. So that's what we're going to do today. But first off, as we're on the subject of subscribers, I don't know whether anyone has noticed, we hit 500 subscribers. 500 eyeballs. Well, it's not 500, but it'd be 1,000 eyeballs, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Jesus Christ. So, obviously, we got a card. I'll let you read it because I'll just get cancelled, won't I, if I say the naughty word. I'll let you read inside. And we got a chocolate bar that I swear is big enough for 500 subscribers. I can barely lift it. So this is from a fellow subscriber, okay? He's been on this channel from the beginning. Even before the channel was a thing, he was there, right? This is my best friend. You're a naughty man for getting me this big bar of chocolate. What am I gonna do with it all? I'll find a good place for it. My belly. It's like that Austin Powers. Anytime I see something I really want to eat, I go, baby back ribs. Do you do that? And then you go, get in my belly. Now I can do the accent. It's not like discriminative or racist or something like that. It's nothing to do with that. My husband's Glaswegian and I'm a redhead. I've got family in Scotland. I can rip off the accent. And the guy who bought me this is Glaswegian. So I can do it, baby back ribs. Do it with me. Oh dear, I love it. Look at this side, I could batter someone with it. Oh, Marotters. It's huge. So thanks for that. Jezza, thank you. And thank you for our card. We've got one for every 100 that we've received. I think it might be more than 500 as I'm saying this to you now. But I'm halfway there. Where's there? There is monetizing. Right, we've got to have a conversation, haven't we? We've got to have a bit of a conversation before it goes any further. So let's remind ourselves why I made this channel. First off, I made this channel to document authentically. I wanted to make a channel that documented my journey into becoming a self-sustaining artist, because I do find that there are a lot of people on here, and by the time that I find them, they've got these well-established, polished businesses making thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars, and I just find it all very like intimidating. So I was like, well, hey, rather than competing with the best of them, I'm just gonna do a channel about what I'm doing, where I'm at. And that is absolutely bloody nowhere. That is the whole point. This channel is to document me creating a business out of nothing. Finally doing what I love to do as a job, full time, taking my life into my control and galvanizing what I think is successful. And that's the dream. Yeah, I've been very open and honest about that. But in order for that to happen, unfortunately, I need to talk about money, which is a very dirty subject, I find. And I found that people, certainly creatives on this platform and other platforms, have been widely criticized for monetizing, making people pay for things. Now, Do I think that there's a right way and a wrong way? Abso-bloody-lutely, I do. I massively, massively do. I can't do what I do and what I envisage doing without getting money, without getting paid, because I need to eat and I need to pay my bills. And it's a terrible part of living, but I've got taxes as much as the next person. There is a right way and there is a wrong way. For example, I have seen creators who have started off great, and I'm not going to name names because I don't think it's right. I think it's really rude if you do that. It's just my opinion, so that's why I'm keeping it to myself, but I will generalize. I have seen creators that started out great, but then they started to monetize, not necessarily monetize on the channel. They started to monetize in other ways, and then the content they put out for free was a fraction of the standard, a fraction of the reason as to why I subscribed to their channel in the first place. That is bothered me, right? I've also seen, when I was doing some research for the abstract workshop, I'd taken workshops before. I've never filmed them though. So I've never filmed a workshop, and that was quite intimidating. So I did some research. There was one particular person, again, not going to name names, but it grated my absolute cheese. They had boasted about a workshop, how to get abstract or how to get into abstract work. So I was like, brilliant. I want to see this. Now, it wasn't me trying to outdo the competition. It was just I didn't want to repeat myself or step on anyone's toes. And if they come up with something even better than mine, I do like to reference them. But I clicked on it, and it basically, they just spoke for 15 minutes about nothing really. And then they said that the actual course, or the how-to part, the bit that made you click on the video in the first place, was free in a PDF on their website that you couldn't get access to unless you subscribed. Now that is wrong. And that really annoyed me, because I was like, hang on a minute. Your title of your video is how to get abstract. Then you want me to go on to your website that I can't get access to this free PDF until I subscribe. Why don't you just say free PDF for a subscription? Why do you call your video that? So that's a wrong way of doing it. I think I don't like that. Equally though, will I sell bulkier, more comprehensive workshops? Yes, I will. That will be happening. But as a result of that, will I forego the quality of my channel? I will try my hardest not to, because as I've said, I have subscribed to people that have since made huge changes to the way they make money, that unfortunately their channel's quality has declined. And it's not as engaging, and I'm really upset by it. There are so many ways you can support creative people that you enjoy, that you admire, that you love, right? And that is subscribing, liking, and belling. I know everyone says it, but it's a great way to support creative people for free. You don't need to spend money to do that. My York trip. I needed that York trip for reasons outside of this channel. I didn't take a sketchbook or anything, and it's literally because I forced myself to chill out. I did take some photos and I did take some footage of the Shambles. If you don't know, the Shambles is the oldest market that we have in the UK, and the Shambles translates from flesh shambles, which means flesh shelves, because the Shambles was in fact a butcher's alley, essentially. Every shop down the Shambles was a butcher's. It's no longer that anymore. There isn't a butcher in sight, thank the Lord. Architectural gem, it really is. And no, it wasn't where the Diagon Alley was filmed. It looks exactly like Diagon Alley in Harry Potter, and a lot of people assume that's where it's filmed. It absolutely was not. I absolutely loved it. I really did love that trip. It was brilliant, well needed. We have lots of good food. I ate myself into oblivion, and I think brilliantly timed, because now everything's ramping up now for me to open the business. So I'm building the website at the moment, which is taking so bloody long, but it is beautiful. I'm very, very proud of it, and I really hope you like it. I was talking about the food, and I was thinking about the food, and I was like, yeah, I'm hungry again. That is sharp. What else? Oh yeah, so we have some subscriber shout outs. Ireet. Hi Ireet. Ireet had advised I go and look at two artists, Deborah Stewart and Lewis Noble, on YouTube. Brilliant. Thank you very much for them. I have Oh, pain. I have subscribed. Thank you very much for those. Anytime anyone recommends artists, materials, ways of doing things, I write them all down. So, Suze, I gave the fur babies a big fuss. Suze wants us to give a fuss. Yes, I know. Oh, dearie me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, there you go, Suze. I gave the fur baby some fuss, some loving. That's from Suze. We have Julie. Hi, Julie. I looked at Louise Fletcher. I was already aware of Louise Fletcher from someone else. But Betty Franks, love Betty Franks. Her work is amazing, really colourful and textural, still very much landscape vibe, but got a totally like amazing abstract sort of twist on things. I will link her down below. Betty Franks, brilliant. Oh, Alexandra. The Lord loved you, right? A few weeks ago, I conceptualized a series of works that I'm still meaning to work on. It's just been very, very hectic, but I have started work on it, right? I just haven't finished the filming. And Alexandra has sent me some bottles that she had found in her local store. Now, this is for you. As you know, I still love my beer bottles, but to make this still life more interesting, what do we think about that one? Bombay Presse, which is gin. I don't drink, as you know. And also we've got Rumbu. Oh my God, look at that. So they're getting filmed. So I've got like a weird bottle collection over in the corner. I know. So Alexandra, thank you so much for those photos because I have printed them out. And I'm going to be using them. Hannah Marie, thank you so much for those videos you sent over of the clear gesso. I didn't know clear gesso was a thing. So I'm going to try create some clear gesso, but I'm going to do it on another video. And the reason is because I need to order some provisions for it. I have some of the stuff, but I want it to be really good. So I'm gonna make my own clear gesso. We also have Brenda. I'm gonna show you in a second how to do the glitter the way I do it and the reasons why I make decisions on certain steps. So there's that. Brenda also wants me to take a sponge to some texture. So we're going to be doing some demos that Brenda's been wanting me to do for a while. And we're going to get on with that. Okay, where are you, Brenda? Take a sponge, put up your paint on top of the texture. Okay, so we need to make texture first. I've just got a piece of paper and I'm just going to put down a bit of texture. Cool, that needs to dry. And the idea is to paint on top of the texture with some sponge. Brenda's been wanting me to do a demonstration on the application of glitter. Now, I've got one I made earlier. And the reason is because this is what I call doubled up. So when you double up, you basically put the glue down, do the application of glitter, and then once that's dry, and then you another layer of glue on top to make sure it's down, and that way you don't get any coming off, right? But what it does is it creates this really dull surface. You can still see it's glitter, but it's very dull. And I'm going to show you how dull. 1/2 here. Right, now the trick is you must apply a very, very generous layer of glue. Now, take your glitter. I do it in like a sauce jar. Go over it again liberally, right? Do not do this if you're not prepared to be liberal about it. You got to shake it about slightly, really get it into that glue. And then what you do is you tip it up. Now, you will see the glue is moving. See that? The reason the glue is moving is because you've got a lot of glue on there. Put it up when you're happy with the drips, okay? When that's done, you go back on and you add the more of this glitter on top, all right? Really get it in there, really cake it in. Don't touch the glue because you'll ruin the drippiness of it, okay? So I'm gonna leave it like that. You let that dry overnight. Sorry about the sunlight. So these are dry now, but so you can see the difference. you know, of shininess, okay, even in the sunlight here. This looks far more matte than this side, right? So although you do get, you know, you do get some coming off, but I still prefer a bit of glitter casting and to have it that sparkly, you know, than have it like this, because I just find that matte. It's pretty, but it's just boring. It's basic bitch glitter, this one, whereas this one's just full on fabulous. Our texture is dry as well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of stubbling. I've got my sponge. Sorry about the sunlight, by the way. Right, we'll do half of it with the sponge. I'm assuming this is what you mean. I'm going to do half of it with the sponge, and then I'm going to do the other half with a paintbrush. Okay. I don't think it adds much extra. I think it does give a bit more of a matte quality. Do you see there? The way it's applied, they're still wet. So you can see the brush one's far more kind of shinier than this side. I think it gives it a bit more of a matte effect. But in terms of application, I mean, it's got some texture in there. It emphasises the sand texture, which I think is quite interesting. Working in glitter and pink of a morning, you know? This is what I want my job to be. So it's the next day because these bad boys took a while to dry. I don't know whether you can see it there a bit better. You see how that's very matte and quite dark. This one's got a bit more kind of life to it. That is why I do what I do. And then for the drips and stuff, you just want to keep applying. You kind of get your own technique really, but trying to work in glitter and avoid the whole craftiness is difficult, and that is just going to take some time. So if you find that your work is coming out quite like Blue Peter, you just gotta persist with it. And this one's dried a bit more now. There is obviously a bit of difference to it. There is a tiny bit of difference. It's more, the actual sponge is much more textured. Whereas the paint, where you apply it with the brush, it seems to have filled in a lot of the grit, whereas the sponge hasn't. It's just kind of emphasised the gritty texture, but you can't really see it unless you're here right up next to it. So what I have in my mind to give you next week is the idea of how to make the most of a mess. So I'm going to discuss that, about the mindset we should have going into a piece of work, any work. And then leading on from that, we're going to discuss how to make the most of a mess. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. And as you know, I love you all very, very much.